fuck are they seeing in the bunker when it's playing there? You watched it. I know it looks terrible in slow motion and all that kind of stuff, but even in real time, like that's a shoulder to the head. Real time, bang. Oh, knees in the back. Yeah, that's 10 minutes in our rule book in 2021.
But you slow down knees in the back, it's still knees in the back. Like it's
That's
different.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what it's knees in the back. It's shoulder to the
blatant.
head. So they know these rules, and you still don't have the balls to do anything about it.
They've had a week. They've stood them down.
Oh, fucking who cares? I'll be back in fucking 2 weeks making the same shit, like stupid decisions. So, even like me, I get so worked up on this shit because I don't understand how you can ruin something like that. I just don't understand. Like, we're watching the same game. You're supposed to be an adjudicator and you do all these fucking courses and all this sort of bullshit to be a ref, and you still can't get it right. Do
you do a course to get in the bunker?
Yeah.
It's the bunker course.
Yeah, it's apparently really, really like...
It's tough.
Yeah, it's so tough.
We should...
And it's so popular as well. Like, it's one of the most popular courses you can do in TAFE.
Can we...
You actually do it in year 7.
Let's get the producer. Can we actually film...
Damn.
Can we do a recording in the bunker
Producer's
one day?
pissing himself.
Can we get... We got to start the bunker. I want to do it.
Mate, there'll be no mistakes, trust
Technology.
me. I've got technology right there and I know the rules.
They'd refer us to the bunker every 2 seconds.
Yeah. If they could refer us, we're in the bunker, to somewhere else, they would.
Do you know what I would refer to the bunker, Will? Jeez, how's my segues tonight? Ready for this one? Do you know what I would refer to the bunker?
What?
Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and their treatment of Cole Flanagan with the press conference.
Nice.
I thought that was to make that poor kid, he gets hooked. Then they make him go to a press conference. Someone asks him a question about his dad. The kid's obviously devastated from
and loves his dad. Obviously, he tears up when he talks about his dad.
So he's had a terrible start. The Dogs have had a terrible start to the season. You can't blame Cole Flanagan. Cole Flanagan gets hooked in a game on the weekend. Then they roll him out in front of this thing and they say some fairly emotional questions. You know, has your dad been a big support to you? Well, I mean, he emotionally reacts to that, which, and good on you, Kyle. Don't ever change that part of your personality. And then they go, well, how do you reckon you'll go this week? Do you reckon you'll get dropped? And he goes, I don't know, probably not. And then an hour later he gets dropped. Who hasn't told him on Tuesday that he's get dropped?
It's very poor communication, put it that way. And if, you know, like I would like to think, I'll give Baz the benefit of the doubt here, I'd like to think that he had that conversation with him on about Monday or at least Tuesday morning saying, look, I know that you'll be playing. Something like that. Or, you know, some sort of communication where if Lachlan Lewis is out, this, and this, you're still not playing. That needs to be said. Because it looks to me like no one has talked to him.
Awful bad.
And if that's wrong, you'll lose the dressing room. You'll lose the dressing room if there is no communication. You left that kid out there to do a fucking media conference. Mate, any decent coach would have been, all right, he's my young kid. You're not talking to the media. I know there's rules in place where, you know, you have to talk to these players, this and that, but it's not full on. If Baz goes, all right, you're not talking to Flano, you can talk to this, and this. The media will say yes, as long as some people are out there. The media manager or something should have went, nah, you're not talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How about we look after this kid? He's 22 years old. He's a baby. He's an emotional young kid. He's probably the first time he's ever got hooked in his whole fucking life. And then, you know what I mean? Then you ask him all these personal questions. Fair enough, I get it with the media. But I mean, media manager, communicate with your head coach. Talk to fucking Baz about who was in the side because these pricks are asking all these questions. They wanted him there. As if like all the journalists going, fuck, I hope Flanagan comes out. Because if they didn't, I've been in teams before where Wayne's like, you're not talking. You're not talking this week. You're not talking this week because there's too much bullshit in you know what I mean? They want to ask all these questions.
It gives fuel to the fire.
Ammo. It gives them ammo. You hide this little kid. You just look after your players, man. That's what I'm saying. If he's not looked after there and they just fed him to the wolves like that, and then you drop him, and the players find that out, there was no communication between the player and the head coach. Fuck me.
Because realistically, if you look at Cole Flanagan went from Cronulla to the Roosters, and I don't know what happened at the Roosters, but after 1 year at the Roosters where he had a reasonable year, he's got pumped. And thank you to Young Henrys for sponsoring us. It's a wonderful beer.
Free piss.
And do you know what? Possibly cans aren't the best for a podcast, but anyway.
I don't mind cans. I like that sound. It reminds me of the Solo ad. Remember?
Oh, you're not the Solo man.
The Solo man. I'm the Solo man.
You're not the Solo man.
I'll kill the Solo. I will take him to school.
You look like Chuck Norris, the Solo man. Anyway, Young Henrys, you're doing a great job. We love your beer, and also we love your cans that ruin the podcast halfway through. But Kyle Flanagan got to the Roosters. He got punted after 1 year. So the kid's already had a bit of a knock in terms of confidence. Then he gets hooked. Then he gets dropped. In between that, they shove him out to. I just think it's going to build resilience for him. And no one's
he should never ever have been able to deal with the media if people were around him that cared about him at that club. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
If, like the media managers talked to the coach and all that kind of stuff, the communication was there, I don't think he'd be out there doing this.
No.
If you cared about that young kid. He's got a big future, Flano. He's just going for a really shit time. And he didn't deserve to go out there on that interview. He just didn't. He's already had probably the worst week of his young rugby league career, and you throw him to the wolves like that. Makes me sick.
It feels a bit like with Canterbury that what they're doing is they're going, all right, well, we've just got to get through this year, and then next year we've got all these troops coming. We've got Matt Burton coming. We've got Addo Carr coming. You can't tread water. You know what I mean? Like, I just think.
What are you going to do if Matt Burton doesn't come?
He won't backflip, will he?
What'd they sign him on, $350 a year? He's probably worth nearly $1 million now.
$1 million.
A year.
A game.
A minute. No, but I'm serious. He's skyrocketed. His marketplace.
Oh,
so just
sure.
say when he signed for the Dogs, he played 5 or 6 games, haven't really seen you play, you got a massive big future, got a big boot on you, blah, 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 blah. Played 5'8", come off the bench, started a few games. Right now, played left centre, played fullback, played 5'8", in a winning side, and is absolutely killing it. On the verge of now, like his name is in the Origin mix. You understand that? And like, I don't think if I'm Burton, I don't think 350 is going to cut it.
Well, he signed it, so I hope.
So did Terry Evans, straight out.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So it's already been set. The precedent has been set. So it's not like, oh shit, you don't think his manager's going, fuck, I can get you 600-700.
Did you bring up Terry Evans because he took your money? Is that the one?
No, I love DCA. Shut up. You're the one who keeps having a crack at him. But as I said, like, you don't think that the manager's going, well, you can get out of this deal. I can get you double a year. I know this is happening right now. Trust me.
Do you know what I was thinking about the other day? They've signed Brent Naden and he's playing reserve grade at the moment because they've moved Burton to the centres, and Burton's doing a good job. Now, if Flanagan and Averillo were doing well in the halves, Naden could end up being behind Burton in the centres again. I mean, do they play?
No.
They play Burton.
You are putting Burton at 5'8" straight away.
And then what do you do with Averillo?
You put him left centre.
Okay.
And then easily. You put him at centre. I think he should be centre right now.
Yeah.
He's not a 5'8".
No.
He's a ball runner. He wants to run.
Yeah.
Not many options there for a young kid, but I still think he's a strike centre. He plays some really good football last year. So I think he's a centre. He just got pushed into 5'8".
Yeah.
Because they just didn't have anyone. So I'm just saying, man, Burton's in that position right now. Very precarious situation where I know the money would have been upped everywhere to, and I think if you're the Dogs, you're up in that contract.
Do we need to fact check 350? I reckon he's getting more than that.
Wouldn't be more than that.
Okay.
350, 400. Do you want to fact check that, Henry?
500 at some point. Now, listen.
I don't think it was much more than $1 million, over 3 years.
While we're talking about signings, these segues. Adam Reynolds has just signed with the Broncos, Will. This is 3 in a row.
Yeah, yes.
Good signing?
Oh, I think so. It fits. You got a senior player up there, and everyone's like, we need a halfback. We need a person who can just run us around the track and, great kicking game. He ticks all those boxes. Good leadership, won a premiership, played Origin, well over 200 games. Like seasoned campaigner, that's what Brisbane need. They need a leader. I wouldn't be surprised if they just throw him the captaincy straight away, but I think it's a good signing. Big loss for South. Not even going into that.
South's going to kick themselves.
I know they played pretty bad on the weekend, but fuck. Some holes are in there.
My major concern now is where do you play my new favourite player, Woodstock Bourbon, Tyson Gamble? The man who celebrates every game.
He's fiery as hell too. I watched him play.
See,
what a great game.
He's cranky.
Well, he's probably on his last legs. You said he was at another couple of clubs before, so he probably thinks this is his last shot. He's just doing everything right.
Yeah, he is.
Fiery little dude, getting up and pushing blokes. I'm not sure if the game, because it's 2021, I'm not sure if he'd be pushing blokes 20 years ago, but you can do it now.
Woodstock's.
Do you reckon it's a good? Do you reckon it's a good signing from?
I think
from Brisbane. Who do you get to play? So if we go off that the premise that they're going to play, sorry, I'm going to check this.
We've got a fact check. We've got a fact check on Matt Burton. He has signed
$450.
That was close.
Close enough.
Yeah,
still not enough. I don't reckon. Polsey's manager will be like, I get you 600-700. Not in this game forever.
And Willie Mason now is managing players. Listen,
I will
if
be.
You're listening in,
I'm not even joking.
You get 700, 800 plus.
Even if you're worth 200.
All right.
Yeah,
so
sorry, Reynolds. Do you think it's a good fit? If you put Katoni Staggs at 5'8", do you think it's a good half combination?
I still wouldn't put Katoni Staggs at 5'8".
Please put him at centre.
Look, my thing about this is I think Adam Reynolds is a terrific footballer. There's no question. He's won a comp. He's played Origin. Adam Reynolds is a superstar of the game. Will he fix Brisbane's problems? It depends what you think Brisbane's problems are. I don't necessarily think that game management is their problem. It might be.
I think so.
I don't know.
They don't there's no real leadership out there. That's why I think he'll bring that.
Who do you play at 6? Are they going to play Katoni Staggs?
No.
Brings its own problems, I reckon. But anyway.
Just figure it out, Brisbane.
Get rid of your recruitment manager. We've spoken about
we told you last week, Brisbane.
We've almost got rid of Matt Parrish. Now we just need to get rid of the recruitment manager. Come and work on the show. You'd be better than a producer. He's shithouse. Round 8. Is it round 8? How come we up to episode 11? Round 9. See? Errors. See, I've just bagged you and there's errors. Oh, Henry. Okay.
Round 10.
Round 10? Round 10. I just read what's in front of me like Ron Burgundy. West Tigers versus the Knights. The West Tigers. Explain to me why Michael Maguire keeps chopping and changing in key positions every week. Does that
do my head in, man?
Does that doesn't give you stability?
No, just makes you question everything.
Yeah.
I think Douay is what is he? I reckon he's a fullback.
Maybe
centre. I don't know. Was he 5'8" this week?
He's playing the centres this week.
Centres. Yeah, I want him. Yeah, I think that's probably a good decision. He's either a centre or a fullback. He can't be too close because he loves running the ball.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good decision. Good against the Knights. I mean, what about the Knights last week? I watched half that game, 16-0 at halftime. Like, fuck, Cameron's got this. They were well over the top. Then, obviously, I watch games on repeat. You know what I mean? So I'm well behind. I didn't know I was that behind. Then I pressed play and it caught up real time and it was full time. Fucking Knights win. I was like, God damn it. What day is it? I think the Knights are on their way. I think so. On the right direction. Ponga, man, like there's one common denominator. It's just Ponga, but there's one common denominator as well. If you're the other team, shut him down. You shut him down, you win. You let him play like that, he's going to carve you up.
Last week, the Knights actually ruined my bet thanks to bettingsite.com.au. Bet right with betting site. They destroyed my bet.
You don't even mean to do this shit, do you?
And they did destroy my bet. Canberra, I had them to cover the line. Anyway, I just don't understand. We'll talk about Canberra later, actually.
Yeah.
The West Tigers, I think, I have tipped them to make the 8, and I have never regretted anything more other than probably that night down at Santa Maria with you, whatever it was down at Woolloomooloo. That's my second regret. All right, the Manly. Let's call them the
Toms.
Tom Turbos.
Tommy Eagles.
The Tomato Eagles.
What an effort, eh? I watched that game. The Warriors were in the game, and then I think Nicarima got a ball, tried to do like a fancy little pass when he should have just hit the centre on his chest. And I think the Warriors would have taken that game because momentum was right there, and it swung their way, and there would have been a try or a converted try or 8 points ahead with about, I think, 25 to go. Dude doesn't grab it, the centre, leaves it for the winger drops it. It was just a half volley. Fucking Manly running 18 points unanswered. They just couldn't get that. They couldn't get the momentum back. So that game was on the line until Tommy turned it. He's the freak. His timing and what he does for that club is unbelievable. What he does. Jake Trbojevic was outstanding, but Tom's the man there.
How much better does Jake Trbojevic play when Tom is? It's phenomenal.
I explained a couple of weeks ago what Tom does. He creates a headache to defensive coordinators. He creates space. It's hard to defend. So you just look at you pretty much right now looking, where's Tom Trbojevic? I'm going to put another number there. Then it opens it up for Jake on the other side or DCE. So now they got room to play with. Just it creates space.
The Broncos are always better at home. There's no question. And this is Magic Round.
Yeah. It is Magic Round, isn't it?
It's Magic Round. So
I wonder if do you know where they got that from? Do you think they just created it?
No, it's a Super League, isn't it?
Did they even think? They never said that they patented it or anything like that, did they?
They don't have to thank anyone in the NRL.
Yeah, I know, but I feel sorry for the Palms.
Yeah, they did one good thing. Actually, do you know what? Greg Inglis is over there playing. Do you know what I find about the Super League? They do themselves no favours. So Greg's obviously over there playing for Warrington, and he scored a try in his first game, and he played last week. You can only watch him play if you are a member of, because I tried to find, if you're a member of Warrington, I'll tell you what I'm not joining, the Warrington fan club. Do you know why? Because I don't fucking
bunch
care,
of assholes.
Like, surely you've got one of the greatest
just
players.
for Greg, to watch Greg. They're just trying, it's a little money game.
Yeah,
it's a money grab.
If it's not on Sky, you can only watch it through the streaming through the club. I'm like,
is this only new?
I don't know, maybe.
Must be.
I wouldn't have streamed you playing for Hull.
Wouldn't have streamed many times.
Double stream.
Yeah.
The Broncos are at home. I know it's because it's obviously at Suncorp.
There'll be different fans everywhere.
Did you go up for that a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was great. It's a bit wild. You get, what do you put, 16 NRL teams in one city? What could go wrong?
COVID.
Nothing could go wrong. It's fucking hilarious. It's like you're setting them up for failure.
Oh no, put them everyone.
I think they do this kind of stuff just obviously to try and get. Brisbane's a massive big fan base. They love their footy more than anyone in Australia. So every player is going to be on their best behaviour. I think even when we're saying that, it's a bit of tongue in cheek, but a lot of clubs are on high alert. Trust me. You're in there, you do a job. It's not a party round or anything like that. You just get in there, do your job, get home.
So is the go, because I've not been to it, but so they play every game at Suncorp. So do blokes just lob at 3 o'clock and then stay there for all 3 games?
Yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, they'll still do the same sort of timetable.
Yeah, it's the same Thursday, but they just there's no Thursday game. It's 2 games Friday.
Okay, so 2 games Friday, and then Super
3
Saturday,
and then 3 Sunday.
Yeah, it's good if you love your footy. I think last year they wouldn't have had it, but like it's big fan interaction, which is great. But I'm not sure with all these protocols with COVID how interesting that would be for a fan. You know what I mean? The clubs are going to be rushing in and rushing out. Do you know what I mean? It won't be the fan days and everything like that like it used to be a couple of years ago. You're never going to get any of that. There's no fan interaction. So I wonder if the crowds will sort of dissipate a little bit.
How does Suncorp Stadium go with RSA after the 3rd game? Good?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Everyone really cares. Imagine being the last game at Suncorp. Oh no. Who is it? The Titans and Panthers.
There'd be blokes literally
That's probably the best game of the round. They leave it to the last one. I get it, but I'm thinking about the track. The track's going to be a shit show.
Oh, it probably will, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
That's exactly
Nobody
what I think
wears
about.
long studs, though. They're all wearing
No,
moldeds.
but it's still just the wear and tear of 7 games before you. Yeah, hopefully the weather's not choppy or anything like that. It's just some nice Brisbane, Queensland weather for these guys.
Bulldogs, Raiders. That's a bloke of a game.
Low game.
Raiders have to win that, surely.
I
don't know.
What do you think of the Bulldogs? I mean, the Bulldogs and St. George, we tweeted about that last game last week. It was fucking low.
It was terrible.
I think I tweeted that. It was the lowest game of the year.
We were on fire with our tweeting last week, actually. I was happy with it.
I keep forgetting, listeners. I forget that I've actually got to do a job. Tweeting. I was sitting there. I was tweeting about the game before, about Turbo, and then I'm sitting there watching the game, the St. George game and Bulldogs, and I'm like 10 minutes in, and I'm like, oh fuck, I've actually got to be tweeting about this. So that's why we were late onto it.
We got into a Twitter war too. That's always fun. Sharks versus
people
the
get in their feelings, don't they?
They do. They really
do. What did I tweet about? I said, "Oh, you're in for a long day when your halfback gets hooked and you got Lachlan Lewis coming in." And you got, I was like, "Oh my God, Willie, you used to." Oh, fuck off!
Do you know?
Honestly, seriously, whoever's tweeting again, don't take it personal. I'm not going to answer all your shit questions.
Do you know the best thing?
I don't care. I don't care.
There was the bloke who blew up about that. He's literally he does a blog, and he literally he said about that Young Warriors winger who had his second game, and he goes, he's too lumbering to be. He'll never play NRL again. He'll never be a winger. He's lumbering, and then he blows up at you for having for saying anyway.
And that was just
the joys of people.
I was just talking about like the actual game. I wasn't personalising against Flanagan or Lewis. I'm saying that's how bad you are going as a club. But people take it how they want to.
Talking of going bad as a club, I know young Henrys love the Rabbitohs. They are huge fans, but I bet they were hiding after last week because
all Rabbits fans have been.
That was.
But they'll be like, we had like 6 starters out, which is fair enough. But still, I know a team who's coached by Wayne Bennett is based on defence. 50's it. Yeah.
The Sharks are just shit.
Oh, yeah. How bad? Good work sacking old Johnny Morris. Wasn't doing that bad, was he?
He's 100% death riding. I know you think he's not.
I'm 100% with you. I would be too.
He's sitting there in his pool bar just going.
Shirt off.
Just going, have a look at these.
Fake tan.
Oh, Josh Hannay's doing his head coaching.
Oh, mate, I feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for him. He probably didn't want the job. Roosters, Cowboys, Blood River game.
Cowboys, my boy's back.
Jason Taumalolo.
Yeah.
Give him 70 minutes. Look what he does.
And don't structure his play.
Why would you give him 40 at the start of the year and play him on the edge?
And then bag the shit out of him. That is not the way to go about it. You just let the kid play. The kid is a beast.
He's just, I don't know. You look at what he was doing in that game and you just go.
Game on the line, give the early ball, bang, bang, right foot, left foot, bang.
Just give it to Taumalolo.
Oh, it's like under 10 sometimes with that kid.
I know. It genuinely is.
Love him, mate.
My young bloke's playing in the under 12s and we played against Jason Taumalolo on the weekend. And it's like that in NRL. You just go,
that's what he does. Like David Fafita. There's only 2 blokes in the NRL, does it? David Fafita and Taumalolo. But Taumalolo's doing it in the middle against grown-ass men.
Warriors, Eels. Where do you put Reece Walsh?
Don't know. I think Harris Tavita's defence is amazing. I don't think the young kid Walsh is out of this world. I think that's why they've got Harris Tavita there because it's a big part of the game.
Yeah.
Note or most halves. I'm not sure, man. You can't really put him in there really that much. Who's the half for the Warriors?
You got Nikorima and
so Nikorima's playing some outstanding. He's playing some really good football. Yeah, and then you got the Tavita, who's in there for his attack and defence. Kicking game terrible. Walsh has got that X factor, but just keep blooding this young kid. He's 18.
I guess
can we not just scream for a starting job straight away? Like, let's just feed him. Give him a little bit, pull him back a little bit, give him a little bit. Get him start a few games. If injuries come in, put him in there. Let's not push RTS somewhere else to give this young kid just thrown to the wolves. You know what I mean? He's only he's slightly built. He's got a. He's not massive. He's not like, Tuivasa where Tuivasa's a seasoned vet. He can cop hits. He can hit it. He can give hits with his body. This kid's 18 years old. He's still developing. Why are you trying to throw him to the wolves? I know he's a talent. He's going to get a lot of football in the next 10 years. Let's just have him on the bench just in case. All the HIAs and all that kind of stuff is so prevalent in our game right now. You need a kid who can play fullback, centre, wing, everywhere. So just put him on the bench, be that Mr. Fix-It for the Warriors. Don't start him unless you have to. He's 18.
Dragons, any good? How are the Dragons coming 6?
Dragons they defend really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a good team. I think I tweeted on the weekend. I reckon they'll get to the preliminary. If they can they'll get into the 8 and then they'll just clamp down on defence. They've got some really good defenders and they're going to get Zach Lomax back and a couple other forwards and backs. They're going to be all right. Ben Hunt's a good player. McCulloch's a good player. They're world class players. They're not just nobodies. Tariq Sims, the middle, they go forward. They hit hard. They work really hard. So some really good young kids there. I think his kids played SG ball last week.
Yeah, he scored a try.
And then Armoni and there's 2 twins. How ironic? How weird is that? Like Brett Morris, Josh Morris, about 2006 or 7, they played wingers, both wingers, centers, and now these 2.
Fair guy.
Yeah.
Good.
Their families their families are so proud, young Tongan kids. I'm not sure if they're Samoan or Tongan, the other ones, but amazing work. The Armoni kid, I did some sessions with him and Roger Fabry in the preseason. I thought he'd be like maybe a year or 2 off, but that's how quick it can happen, man. I was talking to him about this. I said, if this happens, kid, you got to be ready, man. Just get ready for the best ride of your life. But stay focused. His old man's a really good dude, so he's got some good people around him.
Titans without Fafita and no hope against the Panthers.
What was that?
Titans without Fafita and no hope against the Panthers. Panthers are good. They are good. They're
very clinical. I mean, you need. Did you reckon he deserved 2 weeks? He just hung his fucking arm out there.
Oh, I don't know. He hit him.
Okay, so what does Niokora get? What did he get?
He got 2 weeks.
2 weeks, same as David Fafita. Dropped his shoulder into his fucking mouth. You know what I mean? And then Fafita hangs his arm out and goes, slapped him around the mouth. He sort of looked like he was taking the piss, really.
Wasn't
you know what I mean? I don't. There was nothing. That's not 2 weeks. That's a warning. If I've ever seen anything. That's why people do their heads in. Watch the game. If you're a fan of the game, if you're a coach and all that kind of stuff, why the fuck is he missing 2 weeks?
Because he slapped him in the face.
Because he slapped a dude in the face. I've seen a lot worse get away with everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're going to get Niokora, and I'm pretty sure they're on pretty their history is not that bad. Niokora's history is not that bad. And neither is Fafita. It's not like you've been in the game for 10 years and you're just absolute thug. This guy, you give them 2 weeks each. So people lose their shit, man. It's terrible.
Do you know what it is, though? It's great to watch the big boys running around.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Willie's big boy.
I'm going to read that out because it says round 7, but I know better. It was round 9, big boys. William, who you got? Start with 3 votes.
The last couple of weeks when you were like, no, exactly what you just said. I'm like, oh, I get it because I was watching someone do his 3-2-1 votes or 1-2-3. I was like, it was way better when you give the 3 votes at
100%.
at the end. It builds something. I was like, you know what? I sort of fucking get it now. Yeah. I just want to get through it. Who cares? Anyway, I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally. Episode 11.
For the people. All right. My first one is for Jake Trbojevic. I think he was outstanding on the weekend. His defense, I think he's making 40-plus tackles. He's about 95% effective tackler. I think it was like 16 hit-ups. He got about 24 touches of the ball. So he passes a lot, but he was digging in and he made a real big difference in that second half especially. But he was moving all those middles around for the Manly team, getting them onto the ball, creating a lot of space for DCE and Turbo to do that kind of stuff. So that's my 1 vote. 2 votes, Junior Paulo. He was outstanding. I mean, I think he had about 25 touches, 22 hit-ups, close to 200 meters. I think around about 30 tackles, about over 90% effective tackling. If you don't understand what I mean by effective tackling, that means like finishing the tackle off, not just being third man in and just cleaning up and then being involved in the tackle. Like he's putting people on their backs. That's effective. It's not an effective tackle unless that dude's on their back or you win that tackle. So if you're involved in 30 plus, 40 plus involvements and you're still around 90%, it's amazing if you can actually do that under fatigue. And he played 68 minutes, Junior Paulo. Jake Trbojevic played 80 minutes, all in the middle. 3 votes. My man, Taumalolo was back.
He played this week.
He fucking played this week, thank goodness. And he's back. He's had a rough start to the year, but he's back now. He just needed that one game, man. Over 200 metres. I think about 65 minutes in the middle. Well, I think so his defense is a little bit different from your Jake Trbojevic, which is about 90% over. And Junior Paulo is probably around about the 90s. 80s to 90s is always good for a middle guy because you're involved. Your involvement is a lot
higher.
You know what I mean? You're just in tackles, and that's where guys around the ruck, you can watch when they hit, they stick, they put them on their back, all these little things that I notice a lot because I know what coaches are looking at. You know, the Jake Trbojevic, he never misses. You know what I mean? He's going to fold you up. And Junior Paulo and all these big boys, that's what they need to get good at. And that's what I look at, how effective you are in your tackles. And they are, like, unbelievable. 80% plus, but they look for in the middle. I know coaches are looking for 90% plus, even like 100 all the time. And you're involved. You could be involved. Just say you've made 30. You could be involved in 40. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. So, yeah, Taumalolo and about 30 tackles. Just his involvement is unbelievable. So well done to Taumalolo. He's finally back. But it was a good week. The big boys really every week, man. It's hard to pick. Very hard to pick because there's guys out there that are outstanding. Like leaving Fisher Harris out. Guys like that who just fucking continually just like turn up. Like it sucks when you guys are winning. When people are winning, you just seem to take it for granted.
Oh, I don't know. Look, the leaderboard now is Junior Paulo's.
I'm saying people take it for granted. They just think that's just the norm. You know what I'm saying?
Junior Paulo's, he's been out of it for a while, but he's jumped to the top of the leaderboard after a big game. So he's in charge. He's in front in terms of a case of Young Henrys per week and a heap of Bondi Tony's burgers, which you'll be donating to me.
It's the best in the world. It's the best
prize.
prize.
Good prize. It is a good prize. So we've got James Fisher Harris. I'm sure he'd love a Bondi. See, they're both from out west. They don't want to come to Bondi Tony's. I'll take the prize.
They'll come in.
They can donate. Will they, though?
Yeah.
It's
a long way from Penrith.
It's a heap. If you're listening, boys, it's a long way. I'll do it for you. And then we've got Big Tino and Payne Haas on 4 points. So thank you again to Young Henrys and Bondi Tony's for your wonderful sponsorship of the
And
big
what
boys.
about Yamaha?
They're still getting us they're still getting a Pee-wee. Getting a bike. All right, William. It is time now for us to... We've been really bad this year. We have been so bad. Bettingsite.com.au have been so generous with us, and we have just been awful. Harry...
Has been awful.
Well, Harry's had a couple of wins early. Now he's a plant. Who are you working for, Harry? Are you working for us or are you working for bettingsite.com?
He's an informant.
Look,
CIA
I'm trying
informant.
something. I've got my fingers in both pies, but look, between the three of us and the producer, we've got to really start to pick things up here. We've been flat as a tack for weeks now.
You're welcome to put your finger in my pie, Harry. Let's start this week. I will be taking the Raiders, 13 plus. They're bouncing back. The Broncos will perform but not win, and they will cover the 8. With 8.5, they'll be fine. The Rabbitohs at the line, which is, I think, 7.5, and then the Panthers 13 plus, which seems to be a lock virtually every week. Do you like it?
I do like it. Look, the Raiders 13 plus, you're just basically playing into just how terrible Canterbury are. Like, you think the Raiders were $1.15 in the head-to-head market, and the Raiders had given up 4 halftime leads and have lost 5 in a row, and the Bulldogs were $5.50. Like, that's how bad the Bulldogs are going.
Yeah.
The Broncos at the 8.5 start, they won their last home game at Suncorp by 8 points, lost their their second last home game by 8 points. So that's right on the razor's edge. Against me, Manly with Tom Trbojevic, the 8.5, that's a little bit tricky, but 8 has been the magic number for the Broncos at home. So I do think that is in play. 7.5 for the Rabbitohs, that's just money for Jan. I like that. And Panthers 13 for plus, just count your chickens there. They'll beat the Titans without David Fifita pretty handily.
Razor's edge, I like it. It's and I'd see why you're saying that now, because I see what you've actually gone the other way. But that's all right. So what am I getting?
$9.68 with Ladbrokes on that one. I think you're well in play there. Absolutely.
I'll take $9.68.
What have I got?
William, you're in.
Tigers and Knights over 43.5. Sea Eagles
Head to
head. Warriors versus Eels over 47.5, and Titans versus Panthers over 42.5.
Love this. Absolutely love this multi. I
thought of it myself. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So amazing what you do when you rack your brain.
Yeah, you're right.
Look, the Tigers can't defend a parked car, so that means Kalen Ponga could have a bit of a field day if he shows up in the mood. You got to think the Knights are going to score at least 26 points, even though they're not that crash hot themselves, but the Tigers are pretty bad defensively. So I think 43.5 points, well in play. Manly Manly's, I like Manly to get the win in their head-to-head market there. Yep. Tick that box. Warriors and Eels over 47.5. I think this is the biggest over-under points market of the year. 47.5. Yeah. I think they go over that. 145 on an afternoon in Brisbane.
Yeah.
You got to like your odds there. And Titans, Panthers, they could run up a bit of a score. Titans don't like tackling. They love scoring. And Penrith, we know what they can do in attack. Over 42.5 seems low.
Yeah.
So, $9.39 at Sportsbet. You got to love that, William.
What price can I get that the top of your jumper doesn't match the bottom of your jumper?
$1.01.
It's Money for jam. There we go. Oh, look at it.
That's the best.
Look at it. That
$1.01.
You two are just absolute models.
That's got some zebra in it.
Mm.
I don't mind that. So, and the producer, he has backed the Western Bullfrogs, Eastbound and Down, and Nigel Hawthorn. I don't know what any of that means. Does that mean something to you?
Eastbound and Down does. That's the best show ever.
Who have we got? The Bullfrogs.
We've got the Western Bulldogs, Essendon, and Hawthorn.
Western Bulldogs, I don't know, in AFL speak, going pretty well this year. A bit of controversy around them this week. Hawthorn and Essendon not going so well, but $5.67 with the good folks at Ladbrokes. Just 3 straight head-to-head results. The producer doesn't need much luck to go his way there to get a nice little return.
I feel like he's just
need
a
win.
He's just
need a win.
He just wants to get over the board. He just wants to get. Do you know what? I feel as though we're a little bit like the side that just needs a win, and just will then go right on with it.
We're like the Broncos. We're like the Broncos.
We're like the Broncos, except our recruitment manager's also shit because he got both of us involved.
We'll sack him.
Sack him. Harry, are you a plant? What do you got for us?
Ooh, okay. So the second Friday night game is going to be a bit boom or bust for all of us because I've actually taken Manly at the 8.5 point start.
Ooh.
I've got the Rabbitohs at 13 plus. They were $2.40, and I thought against this Sharks side who've given up 40 points in back-to-back weeks. I mean, Rabbitohs lost 50-0 last week, but Adam Reynolds back in makes a big difference. And I kind of like the Cowboys to keep it close against the Roosters. So they're at the 11.5 point line. I think the Roosters win, but that game was brutal for them last Friday night. There's a big chance they turn up a bit flat. They just don't quite.
Last game on going. Saturday too.
Yep.
Long couple of days.
$9.88 at Ned's. Come on, Ned's. I'm feeling lucky.
I love Ned's. Well, I think that this one, I reckon that we are going to get 2 of these up. You'll obviously fail because you've gone directly against me, and that's fine. Don't feel bad about that.
Head to head.
Yeah. And
so interesting.
My head's better than your head, so you're out.
But there's no disputing that.
I thought it was debatable, I reckon.
Thanks. 15 years of friendship and the shitter.
Right, one comment's done.
And so Craig will lose. So I think me and Willie are probably going to win. So that's and do you know what, Harry? Even if we get 1 up, I reckon it's going to roll.
Someone win. I don't care.
What were you going to do to get nude? Get a bet up? Is that this week?
One of us has just got to get a win.
If one of us gets it up, you're nude next week.
That is all that we need. We're a 1 in 4 chance of
nudity.
I mean, sure, there's other factors at play, but come on.
There's no other factors, Harry. It's just if one of these wins, you're coming on.
The clothes are either on or off.
That's correct. Well, mate, thank you once again. It is wonderful to have you on the show. We really appreciate everything that you and bettingsite.com.au do for us. We really appreciate it. And next week, we're going to be in the winners list and you're going to have no clothes on.
And a young Henry's for all, so get right at Betting Site and get there.
Thanks, mate.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys later.
We just gambled responsibly.
Yeah. Gamble responsibly, people.
We did. Someone was a bit
we always do that.
Premature on the button then. Anyway, I know when that happens. Bet right at bettingsite.com.au, which we just did. So
it's not that hard.
Follow us because we're good at it.
Not that hard.
And do it on Betting Site because they're good too. In terms of the tips, I've got 1 up on the producer again this week. He's only 2 in front. I've eclipsed Harry.
Fuck, he's like 7 in front of me. He's flogging me.
What have you picked? Is there any differences here?
No. Knights, Broncos, Raiders, Rabbits.
Oh,
Roosters.
You've taken the Broncos.
Yeah, it was a late change.
So the only difference really with all of these...
And I've backed the Eagles. This is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
I did notice that.
Raiders, Rabbits, Roosters, Eels, Storm, Panthers.
I wasn't going to bring it up on air, but you've literally
I have to change. I have to change something. It's all the fucking same.
Your brain.
This is why I lose.
No, your brain is a wonderful thing. It should be bottled. Anyway, I'm going to beat the producer is what it comes down to. So, William, the headline this week, behind the Willie Mason headline, there's been a fair bit. You appeared on a show called You Can't Ask That. And for all of those who haven't seen it, I would genuinely I would encourage you to go out and watch it because it's not just Will. Will was fantastic on it. I'm not being biased when I say that. Will was fantastic on it. Dean Witters was great. Todd Carney was great. The AFL people on it were great. It was a really good show. That show is a really nice way to get inside the heads of people that do different things, not just footballers. This was a football specific. People who listen to the show would be well aware of your stance on violence against women, and you've been very vocal about not only some current players that are involved in the game, but also your views on that as a whole. I guess a bigger audience got to see that on last Wednesday night, where people may have been a little bit shocked at your stance. I mean, you are obviously strong on your opinions, and I think probably people that didn't know you and had an opinion of you have been a little bit shocked by how strong your stance was, and it's been fantastic. It's opened a really good conversation around this sort of thing, and it's all through the press. So basically the headline is Willie Mason wants life bans for footy players with a history of violence against women. It's quite a long headline, but
That is long.
There's a lot of things that have been quoted in this. Will, do you want to just this isn't something that you just said on a show. This is something that you are very strong about and have been vocal about for a long time.
I've said it for years. I don't agree with the double standards in the game. What's happening? Well, we always go back. That show was great because it was the guy who was running it. He did a great job. You'd answer the questions, but would elaborate massively on the questions. I think that's when most of the good questions were answered. You know what I mean? Like I could sort of really go into it because like when you've got it like that. One thing: do you piss in your mouth? I could. No, I don't. Done. The end. Yeah. You know, so I don't do it. You're not going to do that until Todd Carney's in the room.
Yeah.
You know, so I really enjoyed myself there because he was really good at leading me down that way. And I at times said nothing's off limits here. Like, let's just go with it and see where it goes. And I think that's where I was. That's just me all the time. I think, yeah, as you said, like it was a very wide audience which it goes out to, and my phone's been blown up for the last sort of week. I only just got back on Instagram today. Like I like the positive comments and everything like that, but I don't let it get to my head.
There's been plenty of negative ones.
There's a lot of negative stuff. There's been a lot, and I was like, I like that, and I appreciate it. I write back. I really appreciate the kind text and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've always stood strong on that. I just don't think, I go back to the Todd Carney thing. Like he pissed in his own mouth and he cannot play this game again. He did his time. He went overseas, got his contract ripped up, went overseas, played in the Catalans, and I played in that. My last year as a professional sportsman was in 2016. He come back thinking that he's going to get back in the NRL, and they knocked it on the head. This dude who's pissed in his own mouth. Other hand, you got people that are bashing their missus, being in altercations, all that kind of stuff, you know, degrading women, all caught on film and still not doing anything about it. You know, you do your fine or you go to court and all that kind of stuff, and it's just enough. Enough's enough, you know what I mean? Like we just need to, you know, draw a line in the sand and, you know, like hopefully with what's happening, that's what's transpired in the game in the last sort of year. Like players will understand that you can't do this shit.
Did they give you the questions before you went on the show, or did they?
No, it was just right there.
It was just there. Because one thing that I noticed, and I would consider myself one of your close friends, and I know you pretty well, and I saw the way you reacted when you saw that, because the question was something like, why do footy players treat women like shit or something? And I saw your reaction, and your reaction straight away was that, why am I getting tarred with this brush? You know?
Yeah, it was. Because, there's thousands of people that played our game, and there's like a minority out of I'm not sure how many people played this game. Just say 500,000, just say like 1,000 out of like 110 years of being dicks. You know what I mean? And the game's has had every ample opportunity to draw a line in the sand, say, look, zero tolerance to this shit, and you're done. But it just doesn't work, does it?
No.
They have never come out with that. It's always because the player's too talented, or, you know, he's a star player, and they excuse that sort of behaviour as a young sort of kid, and just the ripple effect is just It's astronomical what's happening now. I'm not sure what it is with the education and stuff, because I was involved. I haven't been too far apart from the game. 5 years, 6 years, in the NRL, and it's like obviously the message that they're sending it's not like registering with these young kids. Could you see some dumb shit this year? It's just all about education, and most NRL players are all good kids. I just hope to God they learn like really, really quick, because if it was a zero tolerance from day dot, there would be no dramas.
Yeah,
but people know the players can get away with a lot of shit.
And hopefully what conversations like that do is they open up more of an awareness of the fact that players and greats within the game aren't supportive of anything.
And no one
like
is.
that.
Like everybody has my views. I'm not sure why everyone was so stunned with what I said. We all think like that.
Yeah.
Every single one of us. There's not one fucking player that I've played with that would stand for this shit.
Yeah.
We've all got mums, we've all got sisters and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it does my head in to think that you're going to condone this sort of behavior. Nobody does. I'm not sitting here, preaching to the choir or just trying to tell some shit that's just way out of turn. But because the perception of rugby league players, exactly what I said, is that everybody thinks that we act like that.
Yeah.
No one fucking does.
Yeah.
No one thinks like that. We're just like normal people. We're passionate about this sort of stuff, and it's got to stop. And it's fucking awful. So that's people just act real surprised because that's a perfect example, because they think we're like that. We are nowhere near what you think. Absolutely nowhere near it.
And I think if anyone thinks that this was just, you putting it on or whatever, go back and listen to some of the podcasts when that original episode happened, when the thing with the filming happened, and see how strong you were on it then. This isn't a new thing for Willie Mason, and I'm proud of you, mate, to be honest. And I think everyone, if you could get to know Willie the way I know Willie, then you would see that this isn't just some sort of stunt. This is how he feels, and I'm very proud of your stance on this.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
That concludes episode number round 10,
11.
Henry? Episode 11. We will be back next week. Rate, review, subscribe.
Ooh. You know that one, don't you?
Get on our Apple, get on Spotify, get on
everything.
all of the things. Thanks, betting site. Thanks,
It's all
Young
in the
Henrys.
link. It's all in the link.
In the bio.
In the bio.
Forgotten how big Willie actually is.
Oh, you got skill, son!
Uppercut right hand by Big Willie.
Too fancy for you!
You've been listening to The Take with Willie Mason and co-host Ian Byrne. Produced by Craig Trewick, recorded and engineered by Zig Parker of Green Room Sydney, and presented by the Handshake Media Network.